Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha. Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha. Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Gunatito Ksharam Brahma Bhagavan Purushotamaha. Jano Janandidam Satyam Uchyate Bhava Bandhanat. Om Bhagavate Shri Swaminarayanaya Namaha. Shri Lakshmi Narayanaaya Namaha. Shri Radha Krishnaya Namo Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 19th of December 2024. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages, the great saints and liberated beings who are on the earth today, who are yet to come, have come in the past, and to the one supreme Parabrahma, Paramatma, Ishvara, Parameshwara, Paramatma, residing in the heart of every single being at all times. With that bhavana and prarthana, we are continuing to examine verse number 1 of the Mandukya Upanishad. Couple of points to keep in mind. First point is that when we are saying Harihi Om, that is actually not in the original Upanishad. It's not in the beginning of the Upanishad as it is originally written. It is something that is added as a respectful appellation to remember God, to remember Bhagavan in the tradition of Sanatana Dharma. Harihi Om. That's actually not in the original text of the Upanishad. The Upanishad begins with Om iti etat aksharam idam sarvam. That's how it begins. I do want to try to pull this up for you today. For some reason, this was not loading. Let me see if I can get that for you. Hold on. Give me just one moment here. All right, let's take a look at this on the screen. Now, we're going to go through this very carefully. This is quite profound. And I don't know where the Lord will take me. Bhagavan ki ichha. We'll see where this takes us. This is very, very intricate. So this is the first verse of the Mandukya Upanishad. And this is the breakdown of the verse, actually, in Sanskrit. And I'll translate every single word for you here. So the verse is shown here on top. The breakdown of the words, word by word, is shown here. Om iti etat aksharam idam sarvam tasya upayakyanam upavya. Sorry, I didn't say that right. Upavyakkyanam bhutam bhavat bhavishyat iti sarvam omkar. This is the verse. This is the first verse of the Mandukya Upanishad. Very, very powerful. So let's try to understand. Last 2 or 3 days we talked about Harihi Om. That is added, as I mentioned, in the tradition of Sanatana Dharma as a respect before chanting the mantra of the Upanishad. That's not actually in the mantra. So that's just there, Harihi Om. And then after that, the mantra begins. It begins with Om. Om iti. So Om is, of course, the sacred syllable. It is the Brahman only. It is the dhyan of Om. I mentioned it before already, how that is to be done. So Om iti etat. So here, iti means it's finished. It introduces or concludes a statement. Om iti. Iti means it's done. There's nothing beyond Om. But when you chant Om, finish. Iti. You see, that's amazing actually. Why is that the case? Why is this word iti there? So that's what we'll look at today. Why is that so? That the Omkar encapsulates the essence of all teachings. Where is the teaching actually? Let's try to understand this. Take a sadhak like myself or yourself, and when we sit, with pavitrata, with bhakti initially, always do bhakti first. 9 forms of devotion, dualistic bhakti is done. cleanliness of the body, cleanliness of the senses. There's a preparation to do before one can sit for Omkar Dhyan. Omkar ka dhyan aisa nahi hota. People say, I'll just sit anywhere and do. No, it is not done like that. There is a process of preparation before the Omkar can be done. First preparation is to worship the Murti of Bhagwan. Bhagwan ki Murti ka dhyan karna. Vedon ka mantra ka uchcharan karna. In modern terms, we do the simpler mantras, like, not simpler necessarily, but the more accessible mantras, like Namah Shivaya and other mantras like that. Do all that preparation first. Make sure the body is clean. Keep simple clothes on or spiritual clothes on. Then have a small diya or even a havan. If you're going to do a havan, you can do the havan also. There are preparatory steps before Omkar Dhyan can be done. That's why the Mandukya Upanishad says Om Iti. Iti means finish, end. Om is everything. Now, assuming you've done all the preparatory steps, there's many of them, but maybe some other time we can go into more detail on that. But assuming the preparation is there, then to sit, you can sit on the ground with crossed legs if you can, or sit in a chair with the spine relatively straight, keeping attention on the Murti of God, and then bringing that Murti inside the heart. That Aksharam, that word comes in this mantra, that who am I? I am beyond the perishable body. The perishable bodies come and go. That is not me. Shar and Akshar. Shar means everything that is changing. Is the body changing all the time? Yes. Is the body a sadhana, a sadhan, a tool, an instrument to realize the Atma Tattva? Yes. So the Omkar that is given by the rishis in the Upanishadic time and come in tradition today, which has remained as is, when we speak the Omkar, we take a deep breath in. So another breath in and out slowly. So we're synchronizing our breath with the sound. Now the sound, we speak externally to begin with. Om, Om, Om. And if we speak in group, like 5 people, 10 people, 13 people, 11 people, 20 people, the more you speak in the group, the vibration increases. That is how the mandirs are to be utilized, essentially. The mandirs are, ye jo sab mandir hai, what we're doing now is kind of, it's okay, it's kind of some mild form of all this. Is in reality, they're there for meditation. That everybody comes together, sits together. There's no talking of anything except the mantra. Nothing else is to be spoken inside the sanctum sanctorium. The sanctum sanctorium, that's the English word actually, that is called the Sannidhi. We say the Mahalakshmi Sannidhi. In the temples, this is what is, you will see the labels like this. Meaning that is the presence of the Lord. Wahan koi worldly baat karni nahi wahan, not at all. And there should not be any discussion of anything there except for sadhana. Even if you want to talk about scriptures, that should be done somewhere else. Have a hall or have a murti there, that is for manan chintan. But the place for doing sadhana, there is only mantra sadhana. And if you're going to do exposition, if an enlightened saint is giving exposition, that is okay, that is called paravani. That is the only time when any sound is to be spoken inside the sanctum sanctorium. You can read, for example, Bhagavad Gita shloks, yes. Or somebody's doing exposition that might, up to that point is okay. But no other discussion, no other talk. Even to enter into that, one should have taken a shower. One should have tilak. One should have the spiritual clothes. There's a lot of maryada, and then to sit for dhyan. See, nowadays, I'm sorry to say this, but these temples have become big business. That is not spirituality. It's not a business. There's no charge to anybody. They charge people for doing archana. That's another ek bada paap hai actually, to charge anybody to do a archana of Bhagwan. Bhagwan ki archana ke liye charge karte hai? How can that be? That is absolutely ridiculous. That is not true. That is not the spirit of the Sanatan Dharma. There can never be a charge to anybody for doing any puja, archana, or any such thing. This is a mahapap actually. I'm sorry to say that. But this is not the tradition of the Sanatan Dharma. It's become a big business. And that's not the real spirituality. The real spirituality doesn't charge anybody for anything. Not 1 cent, not for 1 second even. Even that thought is not there. Whatever comes into the temple is good enough. Nobody asks for anything. The moment you ask for something from somebody to do a pujan, archan, havan, your whole adhyatma diminishes down to zero, near zero level. Ye satya baat hai. But nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to know. Do you think the Upanishadic rishis who taught these mantras, they were charging people? Is that the case? Kitna dilution ho gaya hai hamari hi sanskriti mein. No, absolutely not. Not under any circumstances should any charge even ever be asked even. Sit and do sadhana or whatever is given, that is fine. Yeah, maybe there is some fundraising or something that is done, but there cannot be a exchange. This is not a business. I'll give you an example. This actually happened in my case. I was trying to learn some mantras and all that, and one of the pujaris from one of our temples here, I won't give the name even of the temple. You know what that pujari said to me? हम ये पैसे के लिए करते हैं ना, ये नहीं करना चाहिए. This is in Gujarati આપણે નથી કહેતા કે આ એક વ્યાપાર છે. That's not what this is. It's not a business. It has to come naturally from the heart. And whoever comes to the temple is considered to be a form of God only. It is not an exchange where you offer some fruits or something like that and you have to pay $21 for an archana. Kitna agnan hai ye? It's totally wrong. It's not even partially wrong. It is a type of disrespect to the adhyatma to do this. If you want to raise funds, raise them. Sachin will speak openly. Doesn't matter what anybody thinks. Jo satya hai Upanishad ka, wo satya hi hai. Doesn't matter if Sachin is the only person in the world talking about this. This is the fact. There can never, ever, ever be a charge for any pujan, archan, havan, nothing. And dakshina is given. True saints, true sadhaks, true enlightened people, they never say you give this much money for this. Kabhi bhi nahi. Kabhi bhi nahi, kabhi bhi nahi. It is completely against the Upanishadic teaching, and what the result of that, iska ulta effect hota hai. This is कोई खेल नहीं है adhyatma. People think, this is mandir banaya. It's not like that. And if you need money, money will come. Mahalakshmi is there. She'll bring everything that needs to be there. You don't have to worry about it. And if you have to have some fundraising, do some fundraising in some other way. Don't charge people for the services of the temple. Never, not under any circumstance is that to be done. And this is why Om iti etat aksharam idam sarvam. Look at what is written in the Upanishad and what we are doing in the Sanatan Dharma. We have turned it into trash, actually. Unfortunately. We have turned it into trash can. All this thing. Our lives have turned into trash. These mandirs have turned this way also. And it has become all some kind of a business. And only thing anybody cares about is how much money they can get. This is Kali Yuga. This is not Upanishad. This is not the Gita. It is not Sri Krishna. It is not Sri Ram. It is some Agnan. That's what it is. And it is Lobh. Sorry to use such harsh language, but Upanishad is speaking about the ultimate truth. And if we want to realize the ultimate truth, we have to clean up our lives. Otherwise, we can never realize that ultimate truth. Doesn't matter if there's only 5 Hindu temples in the world, but they should be absolutely pure. Don't compromise the dharma and the original teaching because it will not work. Is God some kind of a business? give this much donation for this and you'll get some result. Is it some kind of a back and forth business? No, never. Absolutely not. I have had Pandits who are very well trained in these scriptures, much more than Sachin is. Sachin is nothing novice compared to that. They have spent their whole life. They said to me in confidence, they said, हम पैसे के लिए करते, ये करना नहीं चाहिए पैसे के लिए. You have to remove that thing about the money completely. You know, in the Swaminarayan Sampradaya, I don't want to go into the details of that. Sadhus are not allowed to touch money. But they ask about money. They shouldn't even be doing that. That's also against the teachings of Maharaj. Fundraising, the Tyagi sadhus have to be out of that. They should never be involved in that, not under any circumstances. In Swaminarayan Sampradaya. Baki to alag sampradaya mein to aisa niyam hai hi nahi. You see, very difficult. Ramakrishna Paramahansa said money and gold, meaning the lobe of the money and the money and women, and then the sexual vasanas. This kills the whole adhyatma. It will destroy the adhyatma completely. That's why Upanishad is saying, Om iti etat aksharam idam sarvam tasya. सत्य बात बहुत कड़ू है. Nobody wants to hear that. Doesn't matter. In सचिन के लिए कोई आगे पीछे किसी का भी भार नहीं है. एक भगवान और सत्य, और कुछ नहीं. जो सत्य है वो सत्य ही है. Not because of Sachin. Sachin has nothing to do with it. Over 30 years of study on these things, Sachin is presenting to you, to the world community, what is the real adhyatma. And real adhyatma में कोई स्वार्थ नहीं है. किसी के साथ कोई कुछ मांगना नहीं. And also not to exchange goods and products for this. Never. Not under any circumstances is that acceptable. And then it's a... Do you know what that is like? I'll give you an example. Let's say somebody does some puja. Just take simple example of Satya Narayan puja. Let me close with this. A lot of people do Satya Narayan puja. Kuch pandit ko bulate, aisa kuch karte. A lot of Hindus do that. Pujari comes. Many times now what they're doing, they said, no, you have to give from the temples. They said, you have to give 151, 251, and then plus dakshina, plus this. What is all this nonsense? No. If you want, the person does the puja, whatever is given as dakshina is fine. If nothing is given, fine. That is adhyatma. The moment the person asks for anything, you know what happens? I'll give you an example. If you have the beautiful glass of milk, cow milk, shuddha doodh hai, right? That is the puja, archana, that the pandit or somebody has done that. And the moment the person asks for money, the moment they ask for it, that is putting a drop of potassium cyanide inside that milk. Never, ever, under any circumstances, is anybody to ever ask for money for this adhyatma. It is a Sanatan Dharma mein. Do you know these Upanishadic rishis? They wrote thousands of pages of commentaries, did so much sadhana. Unka naam bhi unhone likha nahi hai. They're living in the Brahman, Aksharam. They're living in the Akshardham, actually, the real Akshardham. Not these foolish things that are going on in this world today where people are trying to raise money and trying to build organizations to compete with each other and bash each other. Ye sab Kaliyug ka prabhav hai. That has nothing to do with Adhyatma at all. You know, it's okay, we respect everyone, love everyone, take good things from everybody. But the real Adhyatma ki baat hi alag hai. And the biggest thing in Adhyatmik marg mein, किसी के साथ कुछ मांगना नहीं, किसी के साथ राग द्वेष रखना नहीं, कि मैं और तुम, I'm better than you. That feeling that comes, fail. As soon as that comes, we have failed. This is pure adhyatma. Chokku gi pirisai. This is a fact. Whether we like it or not, whether we accept it or not, whether we agree with it or not because of Sachin. Sachin is nothing. There's just a bag of dust. It has no meaning. The satya jo likha hai Upanishad mein, Upanishad ka power itna hai ki it is mind-blowing power of every single word of the Upanishads. And this is a fact. So with that, I don't mean to be harsh about it, but jo satya hai, wo bahar nikalna hi chahiye. It has to come out as it is. And this is the truth. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Karacharanakratam va Kayajam Karmajam va Shravananajam va Manasam va Paradam Vihitam Avihitam va Sarvam Etachamasva. Jai Jai Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambho. Om Divilingaya Nama, Urdhvalingaya Nama, Anandalingaya Nama, Dvadash Jyotirlingaya Namo Nama, Om Trambakam Yajamahe, Sugandim Pushtivardhanam, Urvarukam Iva Bandhanan Mrittar Mukshyamamritat. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Durge Durge Rakshini Tha Swaha. Om Shri Durga Arpanamastu. Om Rim Swaha. Shri Radha Krishna Arpanamastu.